Hey guys, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we're going back to my home state, the great state of Oklahoma. We're going to interview Mr. Jeremy Johnson. Jeremy got a top 10 finish last year at the BFL Okie Division event on Lake Eufaula. That same event's coming up this coming weekend, so we're very excited to talk to Jeremy, give kind of a recap of his event last year, what he predicts for this year. I know that the water conditions and the weather conditions are significantly different, so it'll be interesting to hear from an angler, looking forward to the tournament this coming weekend, what he predicts is going to happen. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is very excited to announce we are doing a $2,500 giveaway for a lucky angler at the end of the BFL season. All you have to do to enter that giveaway is you see the rotating banner below the video. Hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. Enter in your information. It just takes 3 seconds to do so, and you will be entered in to be to hopefully be that lucky angler that is chosen. We have great companies such as Flambeau Outdoors, Costa Del Mar, Seagar Line, the Rod Glove, Strike King, Lose, and Tackle Warehouse in on this giveaway. So it's a great opportunity for a lucky angler out there. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's Revital Outdoors. And if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we're a premium CBD company. We offer premium CBD products to all the outdoor enthusiasts out there. Check them out on our website. You can purchase them directly off our website. That's revitaloutdoors.com. And remember, our products are THC-free and made right here in America. That being said, let's go ahead and bring Jeremy into the studio from the great state of Oklahoma. Jeremy, how you doing this evening, bud?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I really appreciate you taking time this evening to come on our podcast. So let's just get right into it. Lake Eufaula, one of the biggest lakes, one of the biggest tournament lakes in the state of Oklahoma. There's a lot of water to cover, although it still kind of fishes very, very small. So give us kind of your intake of what happened last year, what you're kind of predicting for this coming weekend.
Well, it's, two different lakes because we've had a ton of rain here the past week. The lake's still coming up. I don't think they're letting much water out. I've been keeping up with all the lake levels around because of other tournaments. I'm not fishing the BFL this year just because of scheduling issues, but I think it's around 8 feet high, a little 8.5 feet high right now, and still slowly coming up. So I'll be surprised, they may not even have this tournament this weekend. It may get postponed, but if they do start pulling water and get it down, 7 foot or below, they'll probably have it, and it'll be a shallow bush, typical flipping bite, which was, not the case last year. We had pretty normal conditions a year ago, if I remember right, and it was more of a post spawn deal. I pretty much think I caught everything I caught last year, probably throwing a square bill. That's just kind of typically how I fish that place. So it's going to be a different ballgame with the lake high this year.
Right. You think with the weather, I know Old Man Winter's kind of hung around this year. Been a lot of rain, not only in the state of Oklahoma, but it's coming from the northern estuaries. So therefore, that water's really cold. Do you think that prolonged the spawn? Do you think the fish on Eufaula will be spawning? Will it still be post spawn? Like,
it's going to be kind of all over the board. So I had 2 tournaments in April there, back-to-back weekends, and it was pretty much peak of the spawn, the areas I was fishing then. Lots of fish caught on beds. And it was a very cold spring. It took a while to warm up and get there, but once it did, they moved up overnight, it seemed like, and there was a lot of fish spawning. But Eufaula is a lake. It's a big lake. They don't all spawn at the same time. Last year, so we had the BFL tournament in May, I believe, middle of May last year. I was fishing an ABA tournament in June, and I caught spawning fish in June there last year. So, I was catching post-spawn fish in May and spawners in June. So, it'll keep going. But I would say the majority of them spawned, that last couple of weeks of April.
I got you. So, that being said, the water's up. It's going to be obviously very, very muddy. Not necessarily very muddy, but it's going to have a lot of dirt to it, a lot of color. Lake Eufaula already has a lot of color to begin with. So, that being said, is there anything that an angler should do differently because the water's higher? Or just, go flipping, throw the notorious baits. I know like a brush hog and a hoo daddy and biffle bug is notorious. They're around the state of Oklahoma. Are you doing the same kind of thing? It's just you're fishing a little bit shallower.
Well, I mean, they're going to be shallow. If the water's high, they're going to be shallow. There's just there's no reason to be offshore in a muddy Lake Eufaula when water's in the bushes. That's all there is to it. One thing I've done in the past, which when it's that high on Eufaula, it's really difficult to catch. When that lake fish is at its best when it's 3 to 5 feet high. Now the prime buckbrush bushes, willow trees, those are all in the water. At 7, 8 foot high, really above 6 foot high. To me, most of that stuff has so much water on it. It's really hard to go flipping bushes, in my opinion. I know people do it and catch them, but there's really that sweet spot of 3 to 5, maybe 6 foot of water that the bushes, you better be doing that. In the past, when I fished it, because I fished it at, above 6, 7 foot, I don't know that we've ever had an event where it's 8 feet high. There's a lot of, riprap on that lake. The bridge, just typical road riprap, bridge riprap, that can kind of get monotonous at that high, and it's usually pretty muddy where most of that riprap is. But there's a lot of just erosion control riprap on that lake. Small little sections, around people's yards, and, maybe 10, 15 foot of riprap or 100 yards of riprap. I usually will key on that stuff because typically it's out of the water. And when everything else is flooded out, that gives a hard spot that typically does not have water on it. And there's always a shad spawn on it. It's a place to go catch a limit pretty easily on that lake.
Right. Now, here's a really interesting question that I had brought to my attention not too long ago, talking about Lake Chickamauga and the lakes around Tennessee when the water gets high. Is some anglers believe that if the water comes up in the springtime, like it is right now on Grand Lake, Lake Eufaula, Fort Gibson, that little, mid-eastern part of Oklahoma, that it will actually delay the shad spawn because of the water fluctuation too much. Do you believe in that, or you still think there could be a shad spawn going on?
I mean, I see them spawning those flooded bushes all the time. There were shad spawning 2 weeks ago on Eufaula, so there'll be a big shad spawn going on. And same thing. I mean, at high water, you get up around that high, high water flooded green bushes. Doesn't matter if it's an oak tree that's fallen in, or if there's green leaves, there's always shad spawning on that stuff when it's flooded. So
I got you.
Yeah, there'll be a big shad. And the other thing with Eufaula, I mean, there's a lot of docks on it. They're all floating docks. Any of the styrofoam floats, those always have shad spawns going on. And it doesn't matter how high the water gets or how low it gets. They're in the water and they're going to have shad spawns on them.
Okay. What do you think weight wise? Do you think it'll be a little bit better because it is shallow and notoriously, Flippin is really good in Oklahoma with the flooded conditions, or do you think it'll be about the same?
I mean,
17, 18.
If it stays up above, like I said, I think it's right around 8 foot, a little over 8 feet right now. This is Tuesday. I mean, if they end up having it this weekend and it stays above 7 feet, I think it's going to be tough. I mean, it's tough to pinpoint those fish in bushes at that height. So, I could see relatively low weights. I mean, 15, 16 pounds. If they pull the water back down and, they get in that 5 foot range, I think there could be some pretty, it's going to be hard probably to go catch a 20-pound bag just based on the time of year. But I think you could see a lot of, 17 to, 19 and a half, maybe 20-pound bags come out of there. As soon as that water gets back down, I mean, if it was 3 feet high or low, I mean, it's going to take, 19 pounds to win this time of year. I mean, rarely do you see a 20-pound bag in May on Eufaula.
I got you. So, well, Jeremy, giving us a lot of great insight to Lake Eufaula. So I know you said you're not fishing the BFLs this year because of scheduling conflicts, but I know you're fishing other tournaments in Oklahoma. You'll probably be back out with the BFLs next year. So good luck to you. Before we let you go, I took a minute to check out your Facebook, your social media platform. You got a lot of great family and friends there in the Oklahoma area that help you out. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we get off here?
We do this for fun. There's a good group of guys that we run around with and travel to, just different areas around the state and kind of the regional area. But I'm very blessed. I have a very understanding wife and daughter and son here at home, and they let me run around and do this on my off days. So.
Absolutely. So, well, Jeremy, thank you again for coming on the podcast. Again, good luck to you with your tournament fishing in 2022. Good luck to all the anglers fishing this weekend on Lake Eufaula in the BFL Okie division. Be safe out there, guys. As Jeremy and I were just talking about, there's a lot of flooded water out there. If you guys do get to go, be careful with the floaters. Wind can be a big problem on Lake Eufaula. So make sure to be mindful out there about that. Before we let everybody go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, if you haven't already. You've seen the rotating banner below this video. Hit that link at the top of the description to enter into our $2,500 giveaway. That's right below this video. Again, it just takes 3 seconds to enter in. That lucky angler will be selected at the end of the year. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, again, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. Thank you to Jeremy for taking time to be on here. God bless everybody. Be safe out there. We'll talk to everyone very, very soon.